Our TSN hockey insider Darren Dreger was first to report that the Winnipeg Jets and restricted free agent Cole Perfetti have come to an agreement on a 2-year deal, $3.25 million on the AAV, ending a contract stalemate. Easy for me to say. This contract stalemate drawing a lot of anxiety out of Jets fans, frankly, throughout this portion of training camp. Craig Button joins us now, our director of scouting. So the deal's done. Perfetti will get into camp. What are your thoughts on the deal, Craig?
I think it's a good deal for the Winnipeg Jets. I think it's a good deal for Cole Perfetti. When Dawson Mercer of the New Jersey Devils signed his contract, 3 years at an annual average value of $4 million, I think that the parameters were in place for Cole Perfetti now to find a way to get a deal. It's 1 year shorter. He doesn't have the same experience as Dawson Mercer, but certainly when you think about him being a half a point a game player, I think the dollars fit really nicely for Cole Perfetti. This is a player that the Winnipeg Jets have seen be able to show the flashes of offensive brilliance that they expected when they drafted him 10th overall. And I think as Cole matures and finds his way and gets a little bit more comfortable, I think that productivity will just become that much more enhanced. And certainly for the Winnipeg Jets, they want offensive players. Cole provides that. And yeah, maybe there was a little bit of stress, but Kevin Cheveldayoff, in the vast majority of cases, has shown, I'll get my players signed and I'll get them at a good price. And I think certainly that's exactly what happened here with Cole Perfetti and the Jets.
And speaking of former Jets, Patrik Laine, Craig, makes his Montreal Canadiens debut on Monday on a line with Alex Newhook and Kirby Dach. What are your expectations, Craig, for Laine this season in Montreal?
Yeah, well, the Montreal Canadiens, we're in the bottom 6-7 teams in offense last year. That includes 5-on-5 scoring. That includes the power play. You know, you watch what Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield did. It was really terrific. But it was after that group of players that the struggles really, I guess, reared their ugly head. Having Patrik Laine in place who can score on the power play, he can score in a lot of different ways. A healthy Kirby Dach, I think, is really important. And Alex Newhook finding his place on the left wing. When the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup in 2022, Alex played left wing and was a really good, solid player there. So I think now the Montreal Canadiens have a trio behind that top line of Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield that can carry significant offensive play and produce. And not only does that give you more balance in your lineup, it takes the pressure off that top line. It forces teams to not put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to defending that top line. You spread it out, you get a little bit deeper, and I think that really helps the Montreal Canadiens. And Patrik Laine is in a good place, Jay. I mean, we know he went into the player assistance program and he's come out of it and he feels that he's really ready to get back to the form that he showed earlier in his career. And that form was as a brilliant goal scorer.
Craig, maybe the most interesting story in Montreal Canadiens camp is the 20-year-old second-round defenseman out of the United States of America, Lane Hutson. Everyone's talking about him. He went viral earlier this week, a little saucer pass in scrimmage. The players in camp are raving about him. What can Habs fans expect from this player this year? Is he going to be an everyday player for this Montreal Canadiens team this year?
Well, let me put it this way to you, Jay. I've watched Lane now for 4 years. I have never seen him not excel at whatever level he was at. That's as a 16-year-old playing with the 17-year-olds at the NTDP. That's playing at the World Junior. That's going into Boston University and being a dominant player on the blue line in his first 2 years. That includes his first 2 games in the National Hockey League last year at the end of the season. So there is no way that, having watched Lane perform at that level of brilliance, the way he excels, that I have any doubts about his ability to do that in the NHL. And based on what he's done over the last 4 years, I don't have any doubts that he can do it this year. He is a brilliant player. The mind is always working. He's got all the qualities you want in a creative defenseman, and he's competitive. And what he's always looking to do is find ways to take advantage of an opponent and exploit what's there for him. And he does exactly that. I mean, yeah, the saucer pass was brilliant. I've seen Lane Hutson do so many great things over the course of the past 4 seasons. That will not be any less so once he's in the NHL, and I don't have any doubt that he can do that as soon as Game 1 of the 24-25 season.
Now, the TSN Top 50 NHL Players list, everyone loves it, Craig. It's being revealed this week. We start with the first 10, 50 to 41. They came out on Monday. The annual list, we should remind everybody, this is a projection for this season. When you guys vote on this, it's projecting for this season, not what they've done in the past. One of the more notable names, you see him at number 43, Steven Stamkos, 34 years old, on a new team for the first time in a 16-year career. Scored 40 goals last year, Craig. He was a point-a-game player last year. What are your expectations in Nashville this season?
Well, my expectations for Steven is that he can score 40 or more once again. They have a really good team. Barry Trotz has served notice. We're not just happy being in the playoffs. We're going to add to our team. We're going to go after it. And I believe that if you want to have success in the National Hockey League, you have to be bold. Barry Trotz has been all of that and more. Steven Stamkos adds to a team that needs help on the power play and help scoring overall. Now, they were middle of the pack, but Steven Stamkos now can move them higher up in that regard. And when you think about the playoffs against the Vancouver Canucks, they had opportunities, but they couldn't finish. Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, they add some scoring prowess now that can get them on the right side of those games. And Steven Stamkos, again, with 40 goals last year, you consider what he's done over the course of his career, and then you think about what he's done as recently as last year. I think that not only is he capable, I think he's very motivated to go into Nashville and help them push their season beyond the first, second, maybe even the third round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Very busy offseason for Barry Trotz and the Preds. We'll see how it plays out this season. That's Craig Button, our Director of Scouting.